Welcome to the Ewi Den. This is a tutorial for the novice Ewi player that wants to get involved in recording themselves. So maybe you don't have access to a high-level DAW like Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools. A DAW is a digital audio workstation, and there's a free one available which is called Garageband. And I'm going to show you how to set it up really simply to work with an Ewi. And I would recommend getting the Evi-Ner, EVI-NER by the Davidson Audio Multimedia Group. It's an amazing synth. It's $15. I'll put a link to it. Purchase it. They'll send you the download information, and then there'll be a follow-up email with the registration serial numbers and all that. Mine did go to my junk mail, so just kind of be aware that that could happen. It's an amazing synth. You can just YouTube Evi-Ner demonstrations, and all kinds of guys are playing it. It's amazing. So I told one of my students to do this with GarageBand because they don't have Pro Tools or any of that stuff, and they couldn't figure it out. So this morning I downloaded GarageBand and started working with it, and there's a little bit of a trick to getting the synth to open up in GarageBand, so I'm going to show it to you. So the first thing we need to do is we need to hook our Ewi to our computer. So I have my USB cord. I play a 5000, so I'm putting the connector in the bottom of my 5000 and the USB into the side of my computer. GarageBand didn't have any trouble at all finding my Ewi. That wasn't a problem. If you're playing a 4000, you'll need to use MIDI to USB converter, and then you should be good to go. So let's open up GarageBand, and here we go. It opens up to an empty project. There's a couple other possibilities on this screen, so I'm just going to start here at the bottom. Project templates. I'm sure these are cool. There's a store here. There's a guitar, lessons, recent files, new project. So we're going to choose new project. And it opens to, let's choose the track we want to set up. Okay, well, we want to start with a software instrument track because that's where we're going to put our soft synth. Our Evi-Ner is going to go here in our Ewi track, but we do have the option of doing an audio track or a drum track. So we want the software instrument track. And there we go. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to go up here to GarageBand and to Preferences and make certain that in this audio MIDI area that we enable the audio units. Make sure that that is checked, and then because the soft synth is an audio unit. Then we want to go to this spot right here, the smart controls. If you hover over things, it'll tell you what they are, right? So this smart controls opens this window that's going to be very important to us right down here. You can also open and close this window by just hitting the letter B on your computer keyboard. So I'm hitting B, I'm going to open it up. And we want it to be on this screen, but this is not the screen it was when I first opened it this morning. So if the EQ is chosen, that's not the right one. The master one is different. We want track and controls, and that gives us a plugin list right down here. So we're going to click that. And you would expect there to be a list of plugins, but there isn't. And this is where my student was having troubles because they couldn't figure out like where in the world are the plugins. And it's not very intuitive. You go to the piano, and then these two little arrows, click on those. Now just ignore that my Evi-Ner is already loaded. I couldn't figure out how to unload it. So it's still there, but let's just pretend it's not loaded. We're going to go to Audio Instruments, and then we're going up here to Davidson Audio, Evi-Ner, Stereo, and there it is. Now it's going to open up, and this is not what it looks like at all, so that was rather disappointing. So we have to fix that, and fortunately we can. We'll go up here to Controls, and then Coco View. And then we'll see this really gorgeous front side of the Evi-Ner, right? And there's a bunch of things here. Here's the synth controls that we're looking at. Here's how you access the presets. So we go to Factory, and there's all kinds of presets. So all you do is you click on them, and they immediately play. It's amazing. So here's the trumpet. They're awesome. They're all good. I'm going to go down here to Evi-Ner. Now, one thing that I do need to tell you, let's go back to the synth. When I first opened it this morning, it didn't work. And the reason it didn't work is because the registration wasn't filled out. So you go over here to this signal out, and you hit the signal out. And this was all blank, right? So I went to my email, and I got all the registration information, plugged it in, and immediately it was working. And so at this point, we have our track, and we can rename our track here. I'm going to rename it. All set up for Ewi. So the next thing we want to do, like, you could build your own tracks, and we can maybe talk about that another day, but the easiest thing is going to be just to drop in a play along into this area right here. So I have a little file right here. Let's go. And I put a couple choruses of blues. This is from a project of mine called the Ewi Etudes. So I'm just going to drop that in here. And I'm going to snug that up against the beginning. And now the first thing that's going to happen here is this metronome is going to be playing. We don't want that to be on. Here, listen to it. So it's not even in time with it, which is typical. So we're just going to turn these off. So now our play along is in there. And then all we have to do here, I'm going to rewind. It's always important to rewind or it'll start recording wherever it's at. And I'm just going to hit the record arm button. And then we're recording. We're like, here it goes. We'll just do a little test. Right, so that worked pretty easy. We're all set. We don't really want to keep it, so I'm just going to select it and delete it. And I'm rewinding back to the beginning. I'm going to slide this to the side because I'm going to open up some music. So let's go to the Ewi Etudes book. And here, I'll give you a little run through this. So this is Ewi Etudes. There's like 14 etudes. They're all written over play along. So give you a lot of projects, man. It'd be great. It shows you how to practice them and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. So I've got this set up to show one page. And I'll just play the first chorus just so you get an idea of it. I already rewound it to the beginning. I'm going to hit record, and I'll just play the first 12 measures of the song. So here we go. We go. So we just recorded the song, and now I didn't play the whole track, so I think I could just grab this by the end here and make it go to be the right length, right? And then after that, maybe we want to save it, document what we did, so we can go to export song to disk. Right. And let's do, there we go. And we'll call this like Evi-Ner test. And I want to put it on my desktop. And we're exporting. Oh, all right. We're going to say we're finished with Garageband. I'm not going to save or anything, so we're just going to close out. We're not going to save. And we're going to quit Garageband. And let's close this. All right. If you want Ewi Etudes, I'll put a link to that in there too. And then let's see what we did. There you go. So hopefully this will help you have some fun, and have a great day.